there. My name is Angela Rosoff. I am an Ayurvedic digestive health counselor. I'm a yoga teacher and face yoga teacher, and I am sharing today the wisdom of intermittent fasting with you. And if you found yourself here, welcome. I'd like to start off by sharing that I live in San Francisco, and this is the original home of the Ohlone people. And we are using the land here today in my video. This is my home, and I want to honor the people who came before me and the live culture that still exists here in the Bay Area of the Ohlone people. And I'm going to share a website if you'd like to learn more about that indigenous culture to our continent of the North American place here. Then look for the website in the comments of the video. So today I am sharing the wisdom around intermittent fasting. And if you have come here to learn more about that for the first time, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. If you've tried intermittent fasting before, welcome. You're in the right place. And if you have interest or if you've tried it and it didn't really work for you, but you think it might work, then welcome to you too. I'm also going to share information about who this is not for. This isn't for everyone. And I am hopeful to share this with folks over 35 years old. It could be men and women. My market that I attract mostly is women, but everyone is welcome here. This can work for everyone at a myriad of ages. So let's not piddle around here. I want to just share this information with you. I'm just going to share my screen, find my presentation, and we're going to begin. I love sharing this information because I have learned this from both medical doctors and then the discipline that I have studied for years, Ayurveda. And what I love about this is the opportunity that we have to connect around food in this particular there we go. Okay. In this particular fashion. It's so wonderful to have the internet and presentations like this. I have offered this as a live training, but the sound wasn't good, so I decided to just record this. But I wanted to share why intermittent fasting matters to those of us over 35. Like I mentioned, my background is in Ayurveda and yoga. The Vedas, the Vedic texts, drive me to my work to share this with the world. I'm also helping people beautify from the inside out with face yoga, diet, nourishment, and I'm just really excited that you're here today. And if you are interested in really refining your beauty, it really begins with building Agni. Agni in Sanskrit is digestive fire. It literally means fire. And digestive fire is key to blood quality. You can learn more about this philosophy and the research in this video, but also if you follow me on Instagram, this is the topic that I dedicate my Instagram handle to beautify face yoga, and you can learn more. I just love, love, love that we can do this in a wider range than the people who I know personally. I am building and growing my business every single week. So it's just wonderful to be here with you. I want to share that one of the first things to build digestive fire is just to be mindful. Be mindful about what is your digestive fire. Your digestive fire is built in the body, in the abdominal organs, stomach. It starts in the mouth, and you can learn that in my face yoga lessons. The parotid gland is the largest salivary gland, and you can massage it, and you begin building your digestive fire. This helps you to be mindful that everything we do, we can influence and leverage our body in dynamic ways, like sipping herbal teas throughout the day. Is a wonderful way to receive micronutrients into your bloodstream, into your digestion. You can notice the feelings of your digestion. If you create space with mindfulness, you can allow that unique language that your body shares with you, like hunger, like fullness. You might also notice when your digestion is happening once you become more acutely aware through mindfulness about what's going on with your body. And by keeping a journal about your transformation, you can really begin to learn more about what is happening in your body. Does it need to be healed? A lot of times, those of us in the wellness world, we talk about a healing journey, but quite honestly, the goal is to have a wellness journey. So if you do need some healing, let's attend to that. Absolutely. And then some wonderful things that can help fortify your digestion and kindle the Agni in your body is to eat simple meals. Continue on a path of discovery every single day and be mindful about what you're eating. And in a climate like today, we have a whole host of issues going on with how much things cost. Food costs have risen astronomically. This is a great time to hone this practice and learn more about how to make your meals simple. Because simple meals can really not only heal the body, but it can help you become more aware of what's happening in your body's digestion. So if you do have things like stagnant digestion, or if you have fast digestion, which means stagnant digestion means that you might have constipation, and fast digestion means that you might have some runny stool. If you have runny stool regularly, that is not healthy. That is a sign of not being healthy, of having poor health, actually. And restoration needs to happen. So, some wonderful ways to simplify are to add some wild foods. These can be really simple to prepare and boosted with nourishing supplements from your natural biome where you live. If you are living in a wholesome place and you feel like you could eat some weeds, like right here, I have some miner's lettuce here on the screen. And there's some blackberry leaves in there too. You can make blackberry leaf tea. It doesn't have to be expansive eating wild foods, just adding a little bit here and there. That blackberry flower, that little white flower, you can eat that as well as the miner's lettuce flower. It can be very beautiful on the plate, and it helps to fortify your microbiome. And then I also have a photo here of a lovely green smoothie with some coconut shavings and a supplement. And I'm going to share some information about nourishing supplements at the end, which can really be a really wonderful partner in your nourishment, especially with intermittent fasting, because you want to consider the volume of food that you're eating is smaller in general with intermittent fasting, and supplementing can really help access the bioavailability of fruits and vegetables. This is really critical for your overall health and longevity. And I just want to share a little bit about my story. That's me at 41. Oh my gosh, look at how young I was. I look so supple and radiating. I was still breastfeeding my son at that point. I was one of those people who breastfed my kids a little bit longer than some other people. He was 2 years old there. And I was in perimenopause. And I was told by one of the best medical institutions in the world that I was too young to be in perimenopause. And hello, that is not true. If you adhere to any holistic health whether it's traditional Chinese medicine, homeopathy, what else? We've got Ayurveda, which is what I am schooled in, and a myriad of other kinds of philosophies around food, medicines around food. 35 is the age when we begin to calibrate our hormones, pituitary gland. Our body begins a synchronous symphony of changes that will happen over time to manifest into perimenopause and menopause for women. Men will see a deep decline in testosterone after several years, very similar to the changes that women have. We have more complicated organs that are internal and require some attendance to a little bit more than some men, although men have their own journey, their own story. And what I want to share with you is that was 10 years ago. And now the modern medical system is slowly changing. That was different. Things are progressing. Not every doctor is schooled on what I'm sharing with you, but a lot of them are. And one of the things that have obstructed this faster movement of women's health is that natural symptoms of perimenopause and menopause vary so drastically from woman to woman. It's so hard to pin it down exactly what symptoms every woman will experience. I'm going to share what is common for every woman at during the spectrum of perimenopause and menopause. But when you're starting to change, it's different than at the end. So there's a variance in the whole cycle of perimenopause and menopause. So that has been hard for the medical system to acknowledge. It's not controlled. The other thing is medical studies have been focused on males, and this is actually still the case. So you can do your own research on this. This is widely understood by many researchers. You can talk to a medical researcher, you can Google all of this. This is all very well documented. So, because of these things, women's health has been slow to catch up with studies to support any sort of directive that works for women going through hormonal shifts. This is all impacting to how women are treated by the medical community. So, what I'm sharing with you is coming from San Francisco. I want to give high props to UCSF because, like I said, I was told at that medical system around 10 years ago that I was too young to be in perimenopause by one of the best institutions in the world. They practice medicine around the world, UCSF does. And now it's changing. The doctors are becoming more schooled on this, and they are also becoming aware that age 35 is around the time that most women are going to have that synchronous natural shift. And what I want to share with you is are some typical hormone symptoms. So if you are confounded by your experience right now at age 35, 40, around this time when many women shift and change, I just want you to know that at some point in your perimenopause or menopausal experience, you will experience bloating and weight gain. You have a shift in your testosterone and your estrogen and progesterone and another host of hormones in your body. But those three tend to regulate this bloating and weight gain that we typically get around the visceral fat area of the midline part of the body. And what's happening is the body is in flux, and our body has this like superior mode that it kicks into to protect the life-giving organs of our body, that digestive fire, the digestive organ, the heart. It protects that. And it's a sweet, wonderful system, but you have to override that system sometimes just to get back to what's actually happening in the body. Skin rashes, acne, hair loss, dry mucosa of the body, dry sinuses, dry vagina, dry digestive organs. So your colon could be dry, could be very painful to defecate, or it could be hard to do that. That's all from low estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen helps to give us that beautiful liquefying effect throughout our body's tissues. So it's not just about the vagina, it's about every other organ and part of the body. It's about our heart. So some of us might even have heart palpitations because of low estrogen. And this also is the same process and issue, the skin rash, acne, hair loss, dry mucosa. It's also the same issue of brain fog and temporary memory loss. This is something that could actually build over the course of perimenopause and menopause. And I find it so important to share this with the world because I know people, I work with people who have been to um, the ER because I thought they were having a heart attack and it was heart palpitations, which of course we all want to get checked out. But if you can be mindful and understand that it too shall pass and understand the symptoms of heart palpitations over a heart attack, it could save our medical system, individuals, a whole host of thousands of dollars for unneeded ER visits. Brain fog is the same way. People become very disoriented and feel like they need psychiatric help, which may be the case, actually. Don't want to override everything. But if you understand, oh, I have a little brain fog for the next 7 to 10 years or 20 years because of perimenopause and menopause. And this is a stage of our life that can go for almost 20 years, 35 to 55. Just depends. Everyone's different. We also have digestive changes, which helps us to better understand why we might have some sluggish digestion. We don't have that moisture in the vascular system that feeds our tissues, including our digestive organs, blood, to help facilitate and move things along in the body. So I just want to point out that in this photo, I was 39 years old and I had just had a baby. So a lot of folks in 39 were in a flux, things are still working, we can still have a baby, but we're also in perimenopause. And that time creates a conflict and causes a lot of stress. That was beautiful for me, and I'm so grateful that I did it. But it's just a reality that a lot of people become a bit askew about. A lot of folks who experience fertility issues. The fertility issue is because you're in perimenopause, and just having some better understanding around, what to expect can help calm and alleviate the feelings about yourself and the kind of medical care that you could get to help you through it and navigate yourself through it. And all of this it's so wild, right? Like there's so much flux happening. Women have really had a poor shake in the medical community, and things are changing depending upon where you are located. But I love this quote by Margaret Atwood: "Menopause, a pause while you consider men." Oh my goodness. So that is something to consider because men have dominated the medical community for so long. So being pregnant at 39, it does have its advantages and challenges, right? Like we understand that being pregnant at 39 means we're more mature. We're going to be parents who are mindful, careful with our children, loving them in a different way, appreciating the time with them in a different way. We may even have more resources to offer opportunities that the kids might not normally have. Maybe it's enrichment activities, maybe it's being able to fund their college and that sort of thing. whatever your situation is, or if you know someone, it can also have some challenges. Like, I want to just point out, I've been so happy and joyful. I've been able to actually not work for a lot of my children's life. And that is because of my age. And I have just felt deeply that I would just love them up and really be active in their early childhood education. But I want to point out this photo here of me and my son, Marlon, the lower photo. And in this photo, I have so much inflammation going on. So he was about 3 in this photo. And I was having that conflict that I mentioned of having that radiance that being a new mother can bring, while also having some pretty powerful perimenopausal symptoms. I was starting to have hot flashes. I was starting to have brain fog, and I was starting to have skin inflammation. And that became exacerbated a few years after this photo, which I could share with you, or we'll see if it comes up again. But the thing that I want to share with you is that we can soothe these challenges with diet and lifestyle. It can actually just ameliorate so much and really be such a huge support. It should not be discounted. It can actually reshape your feelings naturally about all of the conflicts in the body that are happening. And I just want to quote Hippocrates, our one of the founding fathers of modern medicine. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. Maybe you've heard this before, but allow it to really sink in right now, because food as medicine, especially for those of us over 35, can really do so much to bring and foster balance in the body, because ingredients are medicinal. I have a photo here of some fun cheese that I've made and just some really sweet treats. I have little ice cubes here that are made with blue butterfly pea powder. And I love adding mountain tea to that. These are both fortifying agents with lots of antioxidants and promoting strength of the mind that can really be a very delicious elixir to help you every day just feel more empowered and also feel a lessening effects of those menopausal symptoms that I mentioned, like brain fog in general. It can be very embarrassing, especially for people who work in a boardroom and you're going through perimenopause and you're also managing like a nanny who can't come to work. You have so much going on. You also have brain fog that's very natural, and that stress can be incredibly intense in the moment. So I want to invite you to think about your vitality is a co-creation with your actions and the ecosystem around you. So you can take actions that are fortifying and also enriching to your body at a time when there is so much flux going on by using your natural environment, like food comes from our natural environment. That is going to help you feel supportive. And then there are some focused foods that can restore the body's vitality during this time. And a nourishing lifestyle and diet can soothe your perimenopause and menopausal symptoms. It's absolutely key to dial that in before you start thinking about going into medicines and pharma actions. But this is the first course of action to take, and then checking that out can be helpful for a lot of people, actually. So, intentional eating. So, this is what we're here to talk about: intermittent fasting, intentional eating. It establishes microbiome diversity, it fosters vitality, and it aligns with your values. So, if your values are to be a natural body going through perimenopause and menopause, then this is for you. If you have the value of eating local, sustainable foods, this is a great thing for you. And if you have a value of eating vegetarian foods, this is a really wonderful opportunity for you. This is a great way for you to reconsider what's happening in your diet, in your lifestyle, and then thinking of intentional fasting, intermittent fasting, you can think of it in a number of different ways because we all fast during our sleeping hours. We already do this fast idea. When you sleep, you fast. And living a diurnal lifestyle is proven, you can look this up too, it's proven to elevate human life. It extends our life actually to rest when the sun has set and to rise when the sun is rising. So if you have a third shift lifestyle, if you work a swing shift lifestyle, I feel you. I used to work very early morning hours as a pastry chef. There was one thing that actually balanced that for me, but the diurnal lifestyle is really key at this stage of life of peri-menopause and menopause. It's very grounding to rise a little bit before the sun rises and to rest when the moon has risen, right? When the sun has set. This intentional fast that we're thinking about doing, it also fosters mental clarity. So it offers this opportunity to improve autophagy. Autophage is the base word. Autophagy is the verb. And what this is a cellular cleanup when we are sleeping, when we are fasting in our sleep. Our cells have a heightened ability to remove any misshapen cells, cells that are dysfunctional. On a cellular level, we're able to cleanse more deeply with intentional fasting, something that we already do in our body, and we just increase the number of hours of doing that. It helps to create those bright cells in our head that are just helping us with our mental clarity, kind of minimizing the number of misshapen and goofy cells that are contributing to brain fog. It helps to reduce visceral fat. Intentional fasting helps to reduce visceral fat. The belly bloats, this is the key here, y'all. This is the thing that's going to help rid the belly fat. If you are eating 3 meals a day, morning, noon, afternoon, you are probably eating too much. It's probably too much. You could either minimize those meals or try intermittent fasting and just experience the benefits of all of this just incredible calibration of our body's cleansing system. And I just mentioned autophagy, it improves autophagy, and that's one of the biggest indicators for mental clarity. It cultivates vitality for you. So it helps you to feel more dynamic in your body. It helps you to feel your body. It gives you more confidence. And that is going to catapult every decision that you make about your health, about the food that you're eating. It's going to offer clarity in the mind. So you're resonating at a higher vibration. It's really lovely. And then when you do intentional fasting, you really want to focus on potent ingredients to nourish your body. You want to add nourishing bits of things with intention, like teas. You can make a turmeric, a lime, or a ginger pickle that's going to help fortify and enrich your digestive fire, that agni that we talked about. Drinking some flavored waters, having some herbs in your water, having a little lavender, having a little rosemary or thyme or citrus to your water can be very fortifying. And then adding anupanas is something that's very wonderful. This is an Ayurvedic technique of having a fortified water or a tea of some kind that has some medicinal nature to it, always close at hand. So having a little turmeric water or a ginger water or a melon water, whatever it is that your body needs, Having that at hand is very powerful. It could also include Ayurvedic herbs, which I also offer consultations about. And then breaking the fast. So when we break the fast in the morning, it's called breakfast, right? You might want to consider the time that you're breaking your fast. Maybe you just consider that. And when you do break it, you want to take in easy to digest foods like soups. Maybe it's something like a curry that's liquidy in nature, or you might have some special other family recipe, like a little paprika, cauliflower that has a little broth, a little paprika. You might want to take something else that's like of your culture's origin. I grew up in a very southern culture, and I know that chicken noodle soup is something that I grew up with. That is something that I know it resonates with me. Like when I even think about it, I get a little hungry. Or other things that might resonate with me are comfort foods. How could I make comfort foods part of my diet? There are ways to do that. And we can talk more about that at another time. But breaking the fast is about having fluid types of foods as part of your eating ritual, having some pureed foods, like a pureed broccoli soup, pureed. Even a potato soup could be very wonderful to take in as a treat. And if you have strong Agni, breaking the fast might be your largest meal of the day. So it's a little different for everyone, and that's why I want to invite you to think about this with a professional. Your main meal of the day. And this might be your dinner. Dinner can vary by your dosha, which are the body's energetic elements. And for some, this might be the lightest meal of the day, the end of the day, if because I wake up really with a strong hunger. I need a big meal. I'm hungry. I've trained myself to do this for many years. So the first meal of the day is the one that is a little heavier for me. But for some, it might be the heaviest meal of the day, dinner. And whichever way it works for you, your main meal is usually in the afternoon or evening. And this is a time for you to connect socially, usually. And by doing so, you want to just consider, what's going to happen with me? What am I going to eat? Maybe you have a smaller portion if this is your lighter meal. And this can be very helpful by having a community around you. The the classic intermittent fasting approach that is proven to work is the 6-8 rule. There are other ways to do this. There are actually several other ways to do this, and I have a podcast about it. I've got a YouTube video about it. But ideally, the best benefits come when our digestion is concentrated to a window of 6 to 8 hours. So, what does this mean? This means that when you take breakfast, say I have breakfast at what? I have breakfast at 8 a.m. in the morning. So then 6 hours later or 8 hours later, that's when I should have my dinner. I should close the window at 8 hours to have the best benefits from intermittent fasting, to really build and kindle that Agni, that fire in the tummy that helps us digest and build good blood in our system. There are a number of other ways to intermittent fast, but the 6-8 rule is what I'm presenting because it has more research support than any other method. And the reality is we all have life, we all have different lifestyles, and sometimes the 6-8 rule, it gets chucked out the window. Sometimes we have other ways that we can support our body system with this philosophy of intermittent fasting in another way. So I've presented all of the upsides to intermittent fasting, but some of the downsides is that it is counter to our modern culture. It dates back to pre-agrarian hunter-gatherer living. And by this, we're talking about ancient humans who were here before we had civilizations. These are people who lived in small communities and didn't go too far away from their small communities to find food. These are people who ate while they were foraging, had little bites and nibbles of micronutrients, of herbs, lettuces, mushrooms, while they were collecting foods for their main meal. So they probably had one meal a day, nibbling along their way and having water and tea in the morning, or maybe some milk of some kind, if that was something that they did. It may be difficult to identify with a style of eating. That's another downside. You may have already turned this video off, and if that's the case, you're not listening to me. But if you are still here with me, you understand that this could be something that you could benefit from. And the way we benefit from this is by our lifestyle, right? So, how can you adapt to a 2 meal a day way of eating? Because in our culture, it's generally 3 meals a day. If you're in a modern culture, technology's everywhere. We typically eat 3 meals a day. We typically eat too much at 3 meals a day in the culture that I am a part of. And you might be wondering, well, how can you be social around food if you're only eating at 6 to 8 window? That can be tough. And you might be wondering, how can you stick to this kind of a high touch dining experience? There's so much thought and intention going into this. How can you keep something like this up? And, the reality is we also are nourished by the company that we keep when we eat in a lovely group like this photo displays, eating with friends and family, extended family. That is as nourishing as what's on the table. And sometimes the company is even more nourishing than what's on the table, depending upon who made the dinner, right? So I am introducing an intermittent fasting club and socials to offer a lifestyle support to keep you oriented and reoriented to intermittent fasting. This is a club that can help you establish this for a long-term experience. And it's offered to you in 3-month chunks. So it's very easy and affordable to do. It's something that can just offer you that jumpstart effect. And then you could stay for the long haul if you like the social element and you like how you get seasonal recipes. But we do a 3-month immersion, and it can help you experience intermittent fasting with guidance and support. So it helps to reorient you to a way of eating to foster renewal in the body. And what I love is in San Francisco, I'm offering seasonal meetups where we're going to share food, we're going to have restaurant food, we'll just talk about how it all works and just connect as a community. So if you are coming for intermittent fasting, you might just stay for the community. You might connect with like-minded individuals who have the same values as you. You might learn seasonal practices to support you on your intermittent fasting journey. And you can work with our seasonal recipe book and meal planner to simplify your days and weeks of how you're organizing your eating in the future. You can learn joyful practices to make all of this kind of click and feel more like you. And the other bonuses are that you'll get to be in the know about health trends, you'll have accountability for your goals, and you can attend book club meetings, which are optional, and learn from wellness thought leaders, learn from other wellness thought leaders. I am your facilitator for this intermittent fasting club, and I have been living this way for over 17 years. So if you join in the month of May, you receive a special founders discount of 25% off enrollment. Just use this at the checkout, founder, this code, and it could be something that you would really love. I just love that you are interested in learning about your unique dosha, and you can be guided by an Ayurvedic digestive health counselor in weekly meetups. So, this is the other wonderful thing about it. You can finally understand all about dosha, the energies of our world. You can learn about your unique dosha, how to reorient to it so you are seeking a tridoshic experience. That's actually the big goal here is to, we start out, we're born a certain way, our prakruti, so you'll learn about that. And then you'll learn about your current situation, which can fluctuate a lot, and how to realize a tridoshic experience, because I just love sharing that with you. And then you'll also get a bonus clearing foods guide by your dosha, your current dosha. And this is what I wanted to share with you today. I just feel really excited that you're here and you've made a decision to learn more about this. I feel strongly about hosting a community because I know that over the course of the 17 years that I've been practicing this, it has kind of waned from some years were different than other years. It is what I have done for most of my life, um, in my teen years, which probably wasn't perfect. But after learning about the health benefits, there's so much research about the 6-8 rule. You can see what other ways of doing it in the Intermittent Fasting Club, and then also have the support of a community. It's really helpful to find a community to help you with this kind of a lifestyle adaptation, a lifestyle shift, or whatever it is for you. Because we need support when we are thinking about food, changes in food. This is such an elemental part of our experience that we really benefit from having a culture club to help us with that. So the weekly meetings are on Zoom. We will also have more than one weekly meeting if you're wanting to do that. That will include, like I mentioned, thought leaders, book clubs. I'll have like a little cooking demo once a month. And this is really just to foster that deep healing in the body that helps to nurture all of the symptoms of perimenopause and menopause. And this is something that can ripple out to those that you know. If you are someone who has had an eating disorder, if you're under 18 years old, or if you have any kind of psychological issues like obsessive thoughts, if you are diabetic, this would not be for you. So that would not be something that would be helpful to your constitution, to your psychology, or to your body. But all of this works if you are not like that, if you have regular challenges of keeping the weight off, of maybe eating a little too much during the day and not really figuring out how to manage that with a 3 times a meal system. If you're a snacker, this is a perfect club for you because this is going to help you reorient to what is beneficial in the body. And finally, I just want to share, I've kind of gone a little bit long here, but just want to share that UCSF, I talked about UCSF. UCSF has a wonderful integrative health department called the Osher Center. And I have attended the Osher Symposium for Integrative Health for many years. It used to be in person, and now it's virtual. It just doesn't get enough funding. But when it was in person, oh my gosh, I used to attend as an Ayurvedic health counselor, and I learned so much from people in the medical community, medical doctors, nurses, physical therapists come to this event who agree with an integrative approach. And I would have the benefit of sitting with them. I went to this symposium for several years, sitting with them, dining with them, asking them questions, one-on-one personal questions. And I want to tell you that anecdotally, intermittent fasting is something many doctors do for themselves. Not all, but the people that I met who adhere to holistic ideas meshed with Western medical ideas, modern medical ideas, many of them do intermittent fasting. This is really so beneficial, and you can do it in a way that is fortifying overall with teas, fortified waters, beautiful supplements that can really just energize the body in a dynamic way of nutrients that are bioavailable. And I can share all of that with you in the club. If you have any questions, I encourage you to go to my website, beautifyfaceyoga.com, and book a call with me. You can go to the Let's Meet section and you can book a call right there. 15 minutes is all we need to really cover a lot and kind of get you going on whatever method will work for you. I also have one-on-one Ayurvedic consultations. So if you do have a digestive disorder or something that is going on with you that would maybe be outside of this intermittent fasting culture club, then let me know. I think it would be a real pleasure to meet with you. I love meeting with everyone who's interested in digestion and health, wellness, beauty, all of it. So please book a call with me, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye.